Okay, continuation class. The fourth one, we have the panic disorder. What is the panic disorder? It is a recurrent, uncued panic attacks. So when you say uncued, you don't know you don't know when or how it will happen. At least 1 month of concern, about the possibility of more attacks. Worry about the consequences of an attack or maladaptive behavior changes because of the attacks. Just like you are worrying that you're going to have a panic attack. And if it persists for 1 month, it becomes a disorder. Panic attacks, when you say again uncued, occurred unexpectedly without warning. Skewed, triggered by specific situation. Where is that? Wait. Okay. Panic attack, by definition, this is periodic. Short bouts of panic that occur suddenly, reach a peak within 10 minutes, and gradually pass. The problem in here, class, is when you have a panic attack for 10 minutes, it's actually long, so it could endanger your life. A sudden attack of intense apprehension, terror, and feelings of impending doom accompanied by at least 4 other symptoms, like physical symptoms, labored breathing, heart palpitations, nausea, upset stomach, chest pain, feelings of choking, na parang, choking, nabubulunan ka, di makahinga. Dizziness, lightheadedness, sweating, chills, heat sensations, and trembling. Other symptoms include depersonalization and derealization. Okay? Depersonalization, you don't know who you are. Or derealization, you don't know where you are or what is happening to you. Panic disorder, according to DSM-5, has these symptoms or diagnosis. A. Palpitations, pounding heart or accelerated heart rate, sweating, trembling or shaking, sensations of shortness of breath or smothering, feelings of choking, chest pain or discomfort. Ito na din yung kanina, class. Nausea, feeling dizzy, chills or heat sensations, paresthesiasis, numbness or tingling sensations, derealization, feelings of unreality, na parang where I am, what am I doing, the personalization being detached from oneself. It's just like you are looking at yourself. Na parang pag sinabi natin the personalization, parang pinapanood mo yung sarili mo. Oh, ikaw na yung gumagawa, ikaw pa yung audience. Fear of losing control or going crazy, and then fear of dying. Ang comorbidity class ng panic disorder is associated with increased likelihood of various comorbid mental disorders, including anxiety disorders, depressive disorders, bipolar disorders, impulse control disorders, and substance use disorders. Panic attacks are associated with increased likelihood of later developing anxiety disorders, depressive disorders, bipolar disorders, and possibly other disorders. And the last one, we have the obsessive compulsive disorder or the OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder, we have to understand first what is the meaning of this two combined word or concept. When you say obsession, it is persistent thought, urge, or image that is experienced repeatedly, feels intrusive, and causes anxiety. Compulsion, repetitive and rigid behavior or mental act that a person feels driven to perform in order to prevent or reduce anxiety. In other words, katulad ng lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo, when you say obsession, it involves thoughts that you cannot stop. Pag sinabing compulsion, it is a behavior that you cannot stop. So, nagiging OCD siya kapag yung iniisip nyo ay ina-express nyo na through action. Thus, obsessive-compulsive disorder is a disorder in which a person has recurrent and unwanted thoughts and a drive that drives the person to perform repetitive and rigid actions or both. What causes obsessive-compulsive disorder? So let's us know the perspective of the psychodynamic, the behavioral, the cognitive, and biological. In psychodynamic theory, As you have seen, psychodynamic theorists believe that anxiety disorders develop when children come to fear their own id impulses or their wants and use ego defense mechanism to lessen the resulting anxiety. So, according to psychodynamic theory, nagkakaroon ng obsessive-compulsive disorder kapag nirepress mo yung mga bagay na gusto mo. So, lahat yun nasa thoughts mo. So, kapag naipon na sa thoughts, you can't help but to do an action in order to reduce the tension brought about by your excessive thinking. Behavioral. Behaviorists have concentrated on explaining and treating compulsions rather than obsession. In a fearful situation, they happen just coincidentally to wash your hands, say or dress a certain way. After repeated accidental associations, they believe that the action is bringing them good luck or actually changing the situation, and so they perform the same actions again and again in similar situations. Of course, ang behavioral hindi yan naniniwala hanggat hindi nila nakikita yung isang situation. So the behaviorists actually believe that it's not about the obsession that you need to cure. It's actually the actions that you need to manage. Yun. So, gumagawa ang mga behavior psychologists ng mga task in order to stop the individuals into repeating their behaviors. Because they believe that is actually the problem. Cognitive. Again, process of the mind. Cognitive theorists begin their explanation of obsessive-compulsive disorder by pointing out that everyone has repetitive, unwanted, and intrusive thoughts. Kabaliktaran ni behavioral, sinasabi naman ni cognitive na it's not about the action. You should actually train the individual to manage their thoughts. Na it's all in their mind. So, kailangan lang nila maging rational about it, to think another things, to think of a way in order to reduce this obsession or yung mga naiisip nila. Biological, this research points to number 1, baka naman in our body we have low number of neurotransmitter like serotonin. Okay? Serotonin, kapag merong mababang number or inactivity about it, it could cause you obsession compulsive disorder or obsession or compulsion. 2, abnormal functioning in key regions of the brain. Some parts of the brain is actually the cause of this obsessive compulsive disorder. So that is psychodynamic, behavioral, cognitive, and biological. Anyway, class, please read it on your book. And if you have any questions, you want to clarify things about the explanation of this 4, you could actually ask me via PM. Other related disorder in obsessive-compulsive disorder. We have 4. We have the hoarding disorder. This is actually new. The hair-pulling disorder, the excoriation or the skin-picking disorder. We have also the body dysmorphic disorder. Hoarding disorder is when one feel that they must save items and they experience great distress if they try to discard them. These feelings make it difficult for them to part with possessions, resulting in an extraordinary accumulation of items that clutters their lives and living areas. Na yung mahilig mag-collect, like mga items na kapag hindi nila nabili yung bagong items, parang mamamatay na sila. Ayan. Next, we have the hair pulling disorder. Hoarding disorder, uso yan ngayon, COVID-19. Feeling nila sila lang kailangan mabuhay. Yan, mamamatay sila kapag hindi sila nakapag-hoard ng alcohol at ng kung ano-ano pa. Hair pulling disorder, also known as trichotillomania, repeatedly pull out hair from their scalp, eyebrows, eyelashes, or other parts of the body. The disorder usually centers on just 1 or 2 of these body sites, most often the scalp. And what is worse is kapag kinakain nila yung binubunot nilang buhok. Diba? Dito sa scalp nila. So, it's hair pulling disorder. And sometimes, may mga tao na they do it as a defense mechanism. Yung nakaka-addict kasi yung bunot ka lang ng bunot ng buhok sa ulo mo. It happens to me, naturally, na napagalitan na ako ng mother ko because parang meron na siyang malaking bilog na makinis na sa scalp ko because of hair pulling. So, magaling na ako ngayon, class. Anyway, next, excoriation. Keep picking at their skin, resulting in significant sores or wounds. Most sufferers pick with their fingers and center their picking on one area, most often the face. Bakit kaya? Next, body dysmorphic disorder. Preoccupied with the belief that they have a particular defect or flaw in their physical appearance. Actually, the perceived defect or flaw is imagined or greatly exaggerated in the person's mind. So, lalo na ngayon, siguro it brought about by the technology and culture na feeling mo you are not pretty enough or you're so ugly that you need to enhance something about yourself. Na even though nakailang retoke ka na, sinasabi na sa'yo ng mga tao that you look good, still you won't stop. Because, yun nga, you have this imagined flaw na ikaw lang ang nakakaalam. That's why you cannot be satisfied. And to put it together, class, we have diathesis, stress in action. Clinicians and researchers have developed many ideas about generalized anxiety disorder, the phobias, the social anxiety disorder, the panic disorder, and the obsessive compulsive disorder. At times, however, the sheer quantity of their many concepts and findings make it difficult to grasp what is really known about the disorder. Overall, it is fair to say that clinicians currently know more about the causes of phobias, panic disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder than about generalized anxiety disorder and social anxiety disorder. Probably because generalized anxiety disorder and social anxiety disorder is too broad actually to be studied. It is worth noting that the insights about panic disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder, once among the field's most puzzling patterns, did not emerge until clinical theories took a look at the disorders from more than one perspective and integrated those views. Pag sinabi kasi nating diathesis, it means it could be caused by biological and also socio-cultural causes. So we cannot really say na we could get help from one perspective only, like psychodynamic lang, like biological lang. So the scientist or the researcher actually combined all of the perspective in order to understand this broad disorder. Today's cognitive explanation of panic disorder, for example, builds squarely on the biological idea that the disorder begins with abnormal brain activity and unusual physical sensations. Similarly, the cognitive explanation of obsessive-compulsive disorder takes its lead from the biological position that some people are predisposed to experience more unwanted and intrusive thoughts than others. Class, when we say predisposed, parang we are actually susceptible into having that disorder already, na natitrigger lang to of our environments and the situation that we are into, no? Nakagawa nga sila ng ganito, cures headaches and indigestion. It's like a placebo, no? Brain and salt sprinkle lightly. In the early 20th century, drug companies did not have to prove the safety or value of their products. Brain salt, a patent medicine for anxiety and related difficulties, promised to cure nervous disability, headaches, indigestion, heart palpitation, and sleep problems. So, hindi naman nila tinest kung gaano ba to ka-effective. But if people believe that this can cure them, so definitely nawawala yung kanilang obsession, nawawala yung kanilang anxiety. So, kaya nga sinasabi ng mga cognitive psychologists, it's all in our minds. And class, that's the end of our slideshow. And thank you so much. I'm going to post something on our LMS account. Okay, all the quizzes will be going or happening when we see each other in our class. Thank you.